Hi, today I'm going to touch on what triggers anxiety and depression, what affects our mental health. Because when you go to a doctor, it's not really spoken about what actually triggers your mental health other than maybe an event or something in your life. But there are many, many factors that I've come across that can trigger anxiety, depression, or anything like that. So I'm going to start by just going through the actual triggers, and then once you know what triggers your anxiety and depression, then you can work on that from there. I'll do another video on how to combat each one of the factors, but let's start by working out which one it is. You may not know, but you can try to help combat one at a time, and then you'll be learning how you can combat and how you can help heal yourself with a mental health issue, because it can be healed. Things, if you can unplug them, all emotions can be, if we work on them, we can really help support ourselves. So the first thing that we acknowledge when we get anxiety or depression is an event or a sequence of events that may have happened in your lifetime. Now, it could be something that happened in your childhood, a relationship breakdown. It could be grief, like death or loss, an accident that you've had. You might be a policeman, a fiery ambulance officer. You might be in the Navy, Army. You could have PTSD. You've lost your job. Your business has gone. You've lost money or an investment. You were bullied at school or at work. So these are a series of events that can trigger anxiety and depression. So like PTSD from different things. There are many ways, obviously, that you can help treat yourself with these things, but this is one trigger that can cause anxiety or depression. Another one is food. Now, this is never ever really considered in the medical profession. When I talk to a lot of people with thyroid issues or autoimmune disease, when we talk about food, they go to their doctor and say, is there some nutrition that I could look at to help heal my thyroid? And every single one of them has come back, including myself, with the answer no. And why would nutrition not be important? What we put into our body, we eat at least 3 times a day, sometimes more. Why would that not be important? So if, say, you ate hot dogs for lunch every day, you ate a lot of processed food, you drink Coke, you have energy drinks, how is that not going to affect your mental health and your physical health? All of those things. So nutrition is key in healing your body and helping your brain function, your emotions function better. So foods like processed foods with preservatives, additives, all those numbers that you see, any packaged foods, colors, flavors, all those things can have a serious negative effect on your mental health. You can have a real high and a real low, particularly with things like caffeine, Coke, soft drinks, really high sugar. Energy drinks are the worst. You're up and then you're down really quickly. So that can affect your mental health. It also affects your sleep. Gluten can affect some people. So I know a lot of people who have gone off gluten who have found that their anxiety has eased. Grains as well. Some people are affected by grains. Some are affected by dairy. It could be a certain fruit. You may need to go on an elimination diet. But food is super important. I really, really get upset when I hear people say to me, they've asked their doctor, what can I do nutrition wise? And it's always nothing. But it's so important. What you put into your body is super important, and it can affect your mental health. I worked in preschools for 22 years, and I can tell you now, when children eat certain foods, certain children, every child's different. It might be like my daughter is affected by strawberries. She gets absolutely hypo if she has commercial strawberries. If she has the ones from the farmer's market that aren't pumped up with things, she's not really that bad. But if she has a lot of strawberries that are hydroponically grown or sprayed or whatever, she goes really, really hypo, in high mood, and then has a low mood and crying and emotional. So I'm not saying that you're eating the wrong thing all the time, but it might be the wrong thing for you. Toxicity is really important. Yes, we are all very toxic in our body, in our blood, in our liver, in our gut. It absolutely matters what you use chemical-wise in the home. a lot of products and chemicals have heavy metals in them, and heavy metal is really, really hard to get out of our body. You may have watched a video I've done on heavy metal before. You have to really try and push it out of your body to actually combat the effects it has on your body. So heavy metals, mercury, that it's in fish, it's in herbicides, pesticides, it's in the pollution from the air, jet fuel, car fuel, all those kinds of factory, all those sorts of things, all those pollution has heavy metal in the air. So we can breathe it in, we can drink it, it's in our tap water, it's in our beauty products, cleaning products, vaccinations. And I always hear from medical professions, but there's only a little bit. There's only a little bit in your medication. There's only a little bit in your cleaning products. There's only a little bit in your beauty products. If we add all of these together, the pollution, all of that, it's not just a little bit, it's a lot of heavy metal. It's a lot of chemicals. There's a lot of synthetic chemicals in our life that affects our body negatively. It affects our liver. Our liver cannot process the amount of toxic chemicals that we breathe in, that goes on our skin, or we ingest on a daily basis. So toxicity and reducing chemicals is really important to your mental health, because once our liver and our gut can't process all of those things because it's so clogged up with toxins, it affects our mental health. So these are just little things that we can do to help reduce toxicity in our body, reduce chemicals. You're spraying deodorant under your arms, you're putting perfume. Perfume is one of the most toxic things you can use in your life, cologne, and you're putting it right on your thyroid. So reducing toxins in your life, especially heavy metals, is super, super important for your mental health. Hormone imbalance. Now, a lot of those things that we talked about can put your hormones out. Stress can put your hormones out. An autoimmune disease is hormonal. So I know a lot of people with autoimmune disease or hormone imbalance, myself included, who have anxiety or suffered with depression, and it's all due to an imbalance in their body. Now they go to a doctor and the doctor tries to give them medication for it. It's not going to help the actual core problem. If you have a hormone imbalance and you're taking antidepressants, how is that going to help you in the long run? It's not going to help you. It's not going to get to the core of the problem. In fact, it's going to probably make you worse, because it's a synthetic chemical. It's in your liver and your liver's trying to process it all the time. So we need to look at the exact reason why you have a mental health issue or anxiety, depression, whatever it is. And if it's a hormone imbalance, antidepressants are not going to help at all. It may numb your feelings. It may stop you feeling anything, including happiness. We don't want to do that. We are supposed to feel. We're supposed to have feelings. So what we want to do is balance our body, balance our hormones with all the things that I've mentioned above. Eating the right foods, using the right products in the home, working on our past traumas, unlocking our emotional responses, reducing stress, having better sleep. So balancing our hormones is super, super important. If you're just going to go on antidepressants, you're not balancing anything. You're not fixing the problem. It's like putting a Band-Aid over it, and the wound is still underneath. You've got the Band-Aid, but the wound is still there. So let's look at the key reason why we have these issues. Also, over-exercising. Now, we have a fitness industry that leads us to believe that if we are not working out till we almost vomit a lot of the time, that we are not doing it right. Now, particularly if you're over 35 and you're working out super hard, it can actually have a negative effect on you. It can cause weight gain. So elite athletes, they often just live life with adrenaline pumping constantly. They're training hard. When they're competing, their adrenaline is super high, and then it comes down really fast. So if for years and years you're training hard and you don't have a come down, you don't do some form of like relaxation or meditation or mindfulness, then you can end up, especially when you finish your elite career, you can end up with anxiety and depression, because you are living life constantly this high and then you're coming back down. They also become depressed because they're competitive people, perfectionists, and they want to keep up with that competition. And once they they can't do it anymore, it's really, really stressful for them. So then that's when the anxiety and depression comes in. So you are literally living with too much adrenaline and cortisol, and you're not bringing that body down. So if you are into fitness, you need to have some form of calm down, some rest days, some mindfulness, so you can actually recover and support your mental health. Now, all of those factors that I mentioned, the fitness, the hormone imbalance, the toxicity, the food, and the event, stress in your life, causes oxidative stress in the body. Now, oxidative stress is like rust in the body. It ages you. And what it is our cells start to not work effectively. All of these things are environmental factors that when we're putting in our body, it's causing stress on our body, and the oxidative stress is not allowing our body and our cells to divide and be healthy and eliminate. We're always eliminating cells. They don't eliminate properly. So oxidative stress is super important to combat. You can combat it with antioxidants, but all of those things I suggested cause oxidative stress in the body. And if you have too many of those things and not enough antioxidants, you're going to have a really high oxidative stress, and that's when disease comes in, your mental health is affected, all of those sorts of things. So combating your oxidative stress, which is really, really simple in many ways, but good food is important, de-stressing, sleep, I use activation as well. All of those things are going to help combat your oxidative stress, because oxidative stress, if you go onto pubmed.gov, which is a medical sort of journal, you type in oxidative stress into the search bar, and so many conditions will come up of what oxidative stress causes. So have a little look and go through all those things. Maybe try and pinpoint if you do suffer with a little bit of anxiety or depression. Go through some of those things and see if you can pinpoint what they might be. Now, a lot of people with the heavy metal, a lot of people don't believe that they have any. Where would I get that from? We cook in metal. We have canned food. We come in constant contact with metal all the time, and it is in our body, whether we like it or not. So just trying to eliminate heavy metal is super simple, and these are things that we can be doing every single day to help our bodies recover. I use a lot of different things. I use good nutrition, obviously essential oils. I use activation. I use several things. I use zeolite powder to get rid of my heavy metal. Lots of herbs when I cook. Really, really high quality food. I try and buy organic. And I have filtered water. So these things are what we're looking at to help our mental health. I hope some of those things have helped you. These are what I believe, and I have done research, obviously, to help assist with mental health. I hope I've assisted you in some way. If you have any questions, please message me or comment below. Feel free to share this. If you know people who suffer, please share it with them. I'd love to be able to help them as well. Or comment below if you enjoyed this video or if I've helped you in any way, shape or form. Take care.